Hey, Sam here. In this video, we'll talk about the keyword ability Deathtouch. This isn't a new ability, but how it works is changing. Now, this is an incredibly rare occurrence. We review and revise the rulebook to this extent only once every 10 years. Some of the Deathtouch changes involve the new rules for the combat damage step, so if you haven't watched the video titled A Planeswalker's Primer for Combat yet, you probably should do that first. Deadly Rekluse is a Magic 2010 creature that has both Reach and Deathtouch. As the name implies, creatures with Deathtouch are particularly deadly. How deadly? Let's take a look. You attack me with Deadly Rekluse. I block it with my 1/4 Horned Turtle. Each creature deals 1 damage to the other. The Rekluse survives, however, the turtle doesn't. It's destroyed, just as if it had been dealt damage equal to its toughness. That's an important note. A creature that's dealt damage by something with Deathtouch is destroyed immediately. Of course, there are outs. Your creature could regenerate. This is Drudge Skeletons. It's about to get into a fight with Deadly Rekluse. I block your Deadly Rekluse with my 1/1 Drudge Skeletons. During the Declare Blockers step, I spend a black mana to activate the skeleton's regeneration ability. Then, during the combat step, Deadly Rekluse deals 1 damage to Drudge Skeletons. That is enough to kill the skeletons for 2 reasons. 1, it's been dealt damage equal to its toughness. 2, it's been dealt damage by a creature with Deathtouch. Due to the rules change, both of those things are now processed at the exact same time, meaning the skeletons would be killed just once. A single regeneration effect saves the skeletons entirely. Deathtouch isn't limited to combat damage. No, any damage dealt by something with Deathtouch is fatal. For that reason, Prodigal Pyromancer and Gorgon Flail make one of the sickest combos in the Magic 2010 set. A single damage from a Pyromancer equipped with a Gorgon Flail is enough to take down any creature, no matter how big it is. If you activate the Pyromancer's ability targeting a creature, that creature will be dealt 1 damage from a creature with Deathtouch. Down it goes. I've got 2 more unusual cases involving the Pyromancer and the Flail. If you've watched the Lifelink video, these should look familiar. In the first example, I'm going to remove Deathtouch from the Pyromancer before the damage is dealt. You tap the Pyromancer to use its ability targeting Enormous Baloth. Before the ability resolves, I cast Naturalize to destroy the Flail. Now the ability resolves. The Pyromancer deals 1 damage to the Baloth, but it doesn't have Deathtouch anymore, so the Baloth isn't destroyed. In the second case, I'm going to remove Pyromancer entirely. You tap the Pyromancer to use its ability targeting Enormous Baloth. Before the ability resolves, I cast Doomblade to destroy the Pyromancer. Now the ability resolves. Since the source of the damage doesn't exist anymore, the game uses its last existence on the battlefield to determine what it was. For example, it knows that the damage is coming from a red creature. It also knows that the damage is coming from a creature with Deathtouch. The Baloth is destroyed. There's one additional aspect to Deathtouch, and that's how it interacts with the new combat damage system. For this example, we're going to put Moonglove Winnower into action. You attack with Moonglove Winnower, and I block with Horned Turtle, Griffin Sentinel, and Drudge Skeletons. In keeping with the new combat rules, you order these creatures to show which is first in line for damage, which is second, and so on. However, when it comes time to assign damage during the combat damage step, you can ignore that ordering entirely and divide Moonglove Winnower's damage however you want among the blockers. Let's say you have the Winnower assign 1 damage to the Griffin and 1 damage to the Turtle. As soon as combat damage is dealt, Griffin Sentinel, Horned Turtle, and Moonglove Winnower are all put into the graveyard at the same time. Keep this in mind. If you decide to assign any damage to the Drudge Skeletons, that damage would be dealt immediately, and the skeletons would be destroyed immediately after that. There'd be no time for me to regenerate them. If I wanted to activate the regeneration ability, I would have had to do so during the Declare Blockers step. At that time, I wouldn't know whether you're going to assign combat damage to them, but I'd know that you could. And that's what there is to know about Deathtouch, a delightfully brutal ability.